Thank you, Kos. First of all, forgive my coughing. It's just a reaction of allergies. Excellencies, ambassadors, general officers, distinguished participants, the media, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of CTSAMVM board, good morning. I extend warm greetings to all the members of the CTSAMVM board and welcome you to the 52nd CTSAMVM board meeting. Thank you all for attending today's meeting, honorable board members. I encourage you to share your thoughts and insights during our discussion to help foster in South Sudan. Our agenda will follow the sequence of the permanent ceasefire and the implementation progress of the permanent ceasefire and international security arrangements, updates on ongoing tasks, and violation reports. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on the status of the ceasefire, I address you, the board members, with deep concerns about the current threat to the ceasefire agreement. The current reporting period is marked by a tense and violent situation. Most critical is the situation in Upper Nile State, with several reports of mobilization of forces and alleged aerial bombardments. In addition, Western Equatoria and Upper Nile State have also experienced violence. These clashes significantly affect the implementation of the already fragile ceasefire and cause immense suffering to the civilian populations. As you remember, in the last board meeting, it was noted that there were signs of the possible outbreak of violence in Upper Nile State, unless urgent remedial steps were undertaken. Rather than seizing the opportunity of dialogue and compromise, the situation in Nasser, Upper Nile State has become the hot spot where political conflict is escalating into a full-blown armed conflict. CTSAMVM strongly urges the signatory parties to step away from the path of violence, respect the hierarchies, and seek the path to peace for all across the bridge of South Sudan. In Nasser, Upper Nile State, there was a clash between the SSPDF and a group of armed civilians referred to as the White Army. This clash resulted in the displacement of the SSPDF from their garrison in Yitayal Bitew and leading to numerous fatalities, including that the SSPDF general officer, soldiers, and members of the UNAMIS evacuation crew and unverified civilians. In the wake of the Nasser incident, a series of arrests targeting high-ranking government officials and general officers in Juba followed, along with confirmation of a foreign troop deployment by the South Sudan's Minister of Information. These activities have caused worry among many stakeholders of the hierarchies. CTSAMVM urges the signatory parties involved to exercise the highest level of restraint during this volatile period and extends its condolences to the families of all those who lost their lives. We again urge for a leveled ground for all actors founded on mutual trust. Compromise and dialogue should be the way forward. The prevailing violent confrontations have been broadly condemned by the international community, and CTSAMVM reiterates the condemnation and concern as expressed by the IGAD Executive Secretary. IGAD ambassadors in Juba, the RGMIC, and the United Nations also. We call upon involved parties to cease hostilities immediately and ensure that calm is promptly restored in the affected areas. On NAS activities. In central Equatoria, suspected NAS elements ambushed civilians, looted properties, and burned a vehicle in Kajokaji County. They also attacked an SSPDF unit in Lolo, Payam, resulting in injuries and fatalities. CTSAMVM condemns these actions by NAS and reminds them that they are accountable for their actions, as stipulated in Article 5 in the protection of civilians of the COHA 2070. Rape by uniformed personnel. Rape reports involving members of signatory parties had diminished over the years. However, in February 2025, an incident occurred in Kwaniak Payam of Wau County, where uniformed soldiers raped a woman. A case has now been opened with the Wau North Police. CTSAMVM condemns these acts and reminds the signatory parties that incidents like this are a violation of the hierarchies. Violation report. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today there are two violation reports for discussion. The first concerns an alleged attack on the Rirangu SPLA-MAIO assembly area on February 12, 2025 by the SSPDF, while the second report addresses allegations of civilians' displacement and detention by forces allied to the SSPDF in Mukaya Payam, Lenia County. These reports have already been reviewed at both the Joint Monitoring and Coordination Office and CTSAMVM Technical Committee. About CTSAMVM activities. CTSAMVM has participated in several activities to support its mandate during this reporting period. On March 10, I, along with IGAD Special Envoy to South Sudan, Ambassador Ismail Wise, and Argemic Interim Chairperson, Ambassador Major General George Winau, met with the Chairperson of the National Transitional Committee, General Cole Mangang, to discuss the progress and challenges in implementing the security provisions of the RRCAS, particularly the graduation and deployment of the necessary unified forces, disarmament, and mechanisms to address ongoing security concerns. The meeting emphasized the urgent need for genuine commitment from all stakeholders regarding to the revitalized agreement. Peace and stability in South Sudan will happen if the parties, make it happen. Again, on March 11, I met with the CDF of SSPDF, General Paul Majok, to discuss the country's security concerns amid ongoing clashes in various states. Our conversation focused on the recent outbreaks of violence and the urgent need for measures to uphold the ceasefire agreements and de-escalate tensions. Since this, unfortunately, the security situation has become even more serious. On a more positive note, CTSAMVM, through its gender cluster, hosted a one-day workshop to celebrate International Women's Day on that same day. The theme for this year was Accelerate Action, empowering women and girls to promote safety and healthy environment. This theme aligns closely with the fundamental principles of peace, security, and inclusive development, which are more core values guiding the work of CTSAMVM. On the 12th March 2025, I attended the 43rd Extraordinary Summit of the IGAD Assembly of Heads of State and Government. held virtually to discuss the current situation in South Sudan. During this summit, it was decided that CTSAMVM would conduct an investigation into the clashes in Nasser and the attack on the UN helicopter. The goal is to ascertain the facts and ensure accountability for any violations. The investigation process has already started, but as we all realize, the security situation in the Nasser area has since greatly worsened. We will regardless move forward with this investigation and urge members of signatory parties to offer support to access these and other scenes of investigations. Finally, I thank all for your presence and your ongoing dedication to the objectives of CTSAMVM. Let us work together to ensure a productive meeting. I thank you a lot again.